Yesterday, I got an email notification and it was from Masterclass.
You have received a new electronic communication.
They say that they just released David Lynch's new Masterclass. And without hesitating, I decided to start the first class. And before you know it, I finished the entire Masterclass in one day. And that was a whole flood of information. And I decided to consolidate my notes, regurgitate what I learned, make it compelling, and create a video for you guys about it. That way I remember what I learned, and also I get to teach you guys, which is awesome because I learned filmmaking from the YouTube community, and now I'm really hoping to give back. Now this masterclass is both on filmmaking and creativity, and I think the real gem here is his creative process. This dude is a true artist. He doesn't sell out at all. He has a vision, and he abides by it 100%. And that's what's so remarkable, because in this channel, we're all about living artfully. It's called Life by Art. So let's go ahead and dive deep into 9 things that I took away from this masterclass. Love the process of catching ideas, because ideas are everything. Catching ideas is like fishing. The fish are the ideas, and the bait is your desire. As an artist, he says, the most important thing is to find your own voice, develop your intuition, and to do that, you have to find your ideas and stay true to your ideas. Ideas are gold. Write them down and don't ever forget one. Number 2, stay true to your ideas. This is a recurring theme throughout every single chapter. When it comes to set designing, working with a composer, working with a producer, you have to communicate your idea, and there is no compromising, because your idea is what you fell in love with in the first place. When you always compromise, the film is not going to come together as a whole. Follow your idea because that's what you fell in love with in the first place. Number 3, daydream. This is probably my favorite point. I think people are just so busy these days that they don't have time to really be creative, to daydream, and to really find these ideas that are not superficial. When I went to Leipzig, I met Maddie Brown, who is one of my favorite filmmakers, and I also learned 360 filmmaking from one of the top 360 filmmakers. Both of them are just top in their respective fields. Maddie Brown's an amazing storyteller, and I feel like both of them got so good because they just sat around, bored, and started daydreaming and fiddling around with stuff. But as we grow older, we lose that kind of curiosity about the world, and we lose our ability to daydream.
When I was a kid, I had such a colorful memory. I was curious about the world and everything in it. I thought the world was surreal and beautiful.
And that's where great original work comes from, or just great ideas come from. That's where ideas come from.
And in my family, they all saved up and got me my first video camera. At this point, I saw my life through a lens. I started learning these different techniques, and I made hundreds of videos of all different shots. I was experimenting stuff. I didn't have a nice camera, so I had to get creative on how to film it well.
This also reminds me of a book I just read, Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac, where Kerouac talks about himself meditating and just kind of being a complete bum. And, you know, his family is like, whoa, like, come on, go ahead and do something. Like, and David Lynch said, you know, keep daydreaming until people think you need a psychiatrist. Like, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but hey, you know, the guy who daydreamed all day, Kerouac, became one of the most famous writers in the 20th century. And then there's Maddie Brown, who I could tell he daydreams a lot, and he's the most Vimeo staff picked person of all time. So make the time to daydream, make the space to daydream, and make the mental space to daydream. So that leads to topic number 4, which is that negativity kills creativity. Negativity stops daydreaming. Negativity clouds the mind. Stress, anxiety, depression, anger, all that clouds the mind. Fear prevents you from going the extra mile. Fear prevents the people you're working with on set from going the extra mile. This brings me to my favorite quote that he said. The starving artist is romantic for everyone except the starving artist. The starving artist just wants to not starve. On the other hand, energy, awareness, and understanding foster ideas. Create the right mental state to help you foster these ideas. And we're going to touch upon that on the last lesson. Number 5, your set should be a happy Thanksgiving dinner every day. And this really follows up on the previous point of negativity killing creativity. When you're directing, you gotta direct with kindness. Everybody has to feel happy and energized and aware to produce their best work to go that extra mile. Foster that kind of environment, direct with kindness, and don't embarrass anybody. And this is something so important. I recently read the book, John Bedham on directing, as well as Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. Both of these books say that positivity is what fosters creativity, that when you're directing, you really gotta make sure that we're all in this together. Actors need to feel comfortable. They need to feel comfortable to let go of themselves and dive deeper into their character. If you think about it, it's not just the actors. Anybody who can let go of themselves, let go of their ego, and really dive deep into their craft can produce much greater work. Foster that community within your team, your set, and let magic happen. Number 6, create your setup. Your setup is like your studio, your workspace, the place where you have all the materials to get stuff done. Now, David Lynch says another one of my favorite quotes. You need 4 hours of uninterrupted time to get 1 hour of real solid work done. Lynch goes on to say that it might seem somewhat selfish with your time, but it's important for you, and if people around you understand that, they will know that you're not being selfish. You need to protect that time to get things done. When you set the intention to create and to come up with ideas, and you have that uninterrupted time, that's where magic happens. If you have a notepad in front of you and a pen, even if you're not brimming with ideas, chances are you're gonna pick up that pen at some point and you're gonna write. If there's nothing else, if there's no distractions, you're gonna write at some point. And when you do write, you're bound to write something good. Even if 90% completely sucks, you're bound to hit something valuable. You're bound to hit a good idea. And once you follow a good idea, the rest of the ideas start pouring in. Number 7, educate yourself. Have the technical knowledge, have the intellectual knowledge from film analysis, and have the experiential knowledge from creating. When he was younger, he would go with his friends to watch a film, and each person would focus on one specific category, such as editing, lighting, sound design, and then they watch the movie, and then they come back and they'd break down their respective category so that everyone can learn. And nowadays we have like YouTube or online streaming, and we can watch things over and over again to break stuff down. So we have it a lot easier. And also you can see in this channel we break down some videos here, but I think I really want to get into breaking down other videos that speak to me and show you guys how I learn, as well as how you can learn from some of the best work. Number 8, embrace failure. Success leads to expectations, success leads to second guessing, failure leads to freedom. So embrace failure and don't be afraid to take risks. Number 9, meditation. This is one of the things that is most important to him. He actually has a foundation, the David Lynch Foundation, that spreads transcendental meditation. And it's actually how I got into really learning about David Lynch through his book, Catching the Big Ideas, or Catching the Big Fish. One of my favorite quotes from him actually comes from his book and not this masterclass, and it's around meditation, and I'm going to say it right here.
If you have a golf ball size consciousness, when you read a book, you'll have a golf ball size understanding. When you look out, a golf ball size awareness. And when you wake up in the morning, a golf ball size wakefulness. But if you could expand that consciousness, Then you read the book, more understanding. You look out, more awareness. And when you wake up, more wakefulness. It's consciousness. And there's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness inside each one of us. And it's right at the source and base of mind, right at the source of thought, and it's also at the source of all matter.
And that's one of the reasons why once I watched the first class, I couldn't stop watching the rest of the entire masterclass. It's because he has just so much inner knowledge about life that when he speaks, he just he looks up and he thinks, and he speaks real slowly, but you just gravitate to every single word that he says, because every word that he says just feels so, he says it like he's so awake and so fully conscious of everything. Hey, baby. If you enjoyed my review and my content, then feel free to let me know. Well, actually, I please encourage you to let me know and also subscribe. And I'll be producing a lot more content similar to this moving forth.